Hi there and welcome to my channel. Today's project is for the Vicki Boutin design team and I am very glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. On today's video, I want to show you a little bit of how to create a distressed background for a layout using acrylic paint and matte acrylic gel. And again, if you have seen some of my projects, then you know that a lot of my projects start with an idea but no planning mind. And this is one of them and I usually end up loving them. The only thing is I'm starting with a foundation paper that's been gesso, and I'm going to mix a little bit of acrylic paint with a matte acrylic gel. I'm starting, I think it's called coral sugar. Not so sure. My God, that's so bad. Coral macaroon, sorry. And it's this with a little bit of matte acrylic gel. But I'm going to show you a little bit of why I'm doing this. You're going to see that I'm using a foundation paper and I'm just adding a little bit of purple acrylic paint straight onto the foundation paper, and it's really pigmented, lovely color. I'm gonna start mixing in some of the matte acrylic gel just to show you what happens, and you're gonna see how the color lightens up. I'm gonna say it becomes a little bit more fluid, and it helps. And it's gonna be a great idea to distress the background, just because when you deposit, there's gonna be some areas where are very translucent, and you're gonna be able to deposit other colors of paint on top of it. What the matte acrylic gel is doing is just stretching the pigment. So try it. The more acrylic gel you add to the paint, the lighter it's gonna be. Like I said before, try it in a little piece of paper so you have an idea of how much to add to the look that you're gonna create. And this is a great place to add texture. So I'm going back to the layout. Like I said, I mixed a little bit of, I think it's called more coral macaroon with a matte acrylic gel. I'm gonna say 4 parts to 1. And all I'm going to do is I started depositing or adding distress onto my layout using my palette knife. Not loving it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with my brush. And I'm using an acrylic brush. And I'm using this especially because I wanted something that had a kind of a harder bristle. And in this case, I wanted something that was dry. Because I want to create a little bit of texture as I am adding the brush strokes. And the only thing that I'm doing is I'm creating brush strokes. Sorry. That go in one direction, same direction. You can use different directions. My choice was to do the same direction. Now, I'm going to take it out of camera in and out because I don't think you want to see me just adding the brush stroke. So what I did after I had the first pink layer, I went in and bring some of the fuchsia color from the acrylic pop paints, mixed it with, again, matte acrylic gel, and I'm going on the same direction, adding brush strokes of this color. Now, what you see happening is when in the areas where the matte acrylic gel left that it's really not a white space. It's just semi-transparent because of the nature of the matte acrylic gel. Now it becomes a great place for me to add the acrylic paint. So you're going to see that starts creating this distressed look. It looks like the colors are gelling together. It looks like a amarena, like really messy. So try it. Now, again, I'm starting with a foundation paper that was pre-gesso. You don't have to. That's the beauty of this method, because the matte acrylic gel is also prepping your page at the same time that you're adding the color. Now, because I don't like it might curl a bit though, because you're adding a little bit of water to paper, but not much. But you can try. Now, what I did off camera is mix a little bit of the orange paint with matte acrylic gel, and then took a little bit of that mixture and mixed it with the original pink to create this kind of peachy color. I thought at the beginning that it was a little bit dark. I wanted to go lighter, so I added a little bit of white paint to it. Again, I added matte acrylic gel, and I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of stretch, again, brush strokes, but I'm stretching, trying to mix some of the colors together, and I'm trying to go the dry as I can. I'm just trying to go with a dry brush and very little pigment just to create the distressed look. Once I'm happy with what I put down, I'm gonna bring some of that orange paint. You're gonna see it that I have mixed with the matte gel, just to mix it with this peach tone and just to bring some more warmth, some more distress to the background. Love how this turned out. It was super simple. You're going to see that, like I said, I'm going to take it off camera, but by following the same direction, it looks like some areas the paint is bleeding. Love it. Love how this turned out. Now, it does take to dry a little bit longer than regular acrylic paint dries the time. Acrylic paint dries really fast, but with the matte gel, it takes a little bit longer to dry. So keep that in mind. When it was dry, I wanted to, again, like I said, I'm thinking art journal. So I'm bringing the Escape stamp set and a little bit of archival ink. And I'm just going to stamp some of those little bubbles or circles just in different areas in my layout. Once I have that in place, I want to bring a little bit of white to just kind of dull a little bit of the black circles. Even though I'm loving it, I think the combination is great. I think I want to add a little bit of white just to soften it a bit. So for this, I am using white acrylic paint. And this is just acrylic paint from Michaels, nothing special. This is the one that I use sometimes just to create backgrounds. And one of the reasons, you can use gesso if you want to. It'll be great medium. Now, one of the reasons that I'm using acrylic paint here is because when I mix, even though the matte acrylic gel is, like I said, matte, it has no shine, but the acrylic paint does have kind of a little bit of a gloss. So when you mix them together, you're still gonna get that glossy surface. So I don't want to add gesso to this because you're gonna find it very opaque. So I'm choosing to go with acrylic paint just to keep the same tone. And as you're gonna see, all I'm doing is kind of adding little dots, little dashes around some areas, not a defined spot. In some areas, I'm gonna put them on top of the circles that I stamped, and it's just gonna soften some of the circles. In other areas, I'm just gonna add them to the background. And I think this is one of the things that I love. I love adding these little dashes, especially when I do my Bible journaling. And I think it's gonna be great here. Like I said, it's gonna help with the distressed look. It's I love it. It's gonna bring some of that white that I love so much too. So again, beautiful background. I love how this turned out. Great place for distress. And like I said, the only thing is try a little bit in a piece of paper and a piece of cardstock. Try it on your junk journal before you go into a big layer. I have tried it before, so I have an idea what I wanted, and I'm okay with it. Because you might not like the results. This is a great place to play, to try texture, because it lends to so many different things. Now, once the paint dried, I went into my stash and looked for a picture that I wanted to document. And this picture is around 5x7 of my daughter. And when I put it down, I realized that I needed to stretch some of the color into the white area. And I also wanted to create somewhat of a shadow. I'm thinking layers of distress. So I'm pulling the stencil, the script stencil, my stencil brush, the fuchsia crayon, the gray crayon, and the black art crayon, just to create the shadow. And I'm going to see that I add the script stencil just for around the areas where I have the bubbles or the circles. Just like I said, I'm trying to create the shadow underneath. You could also stamp, with the script from Vicky's All the Good Things collection. Stamp it before you add the paint underneath. Because of the matte acrylic gel, it's going to be transparent enough that you'll be able to see it and you'll be like a shadow. Just some ideas. Like I said, by using matte acrylic gel is a great way to add layers. So try it. Now, while everything was setting down, I just played with some ideas that I had. And I realized that I needed to bring some of those gold tones. I wanted to warm up the layout a lot more. So what I'm doing is I pull these stickers. These are from the watercolor stickers from the All the Good Things collection. And I am going to add a little bit of gold. And I'm mixing a bit of the gold glaze with a little bit of water just to water it down and make it into paint. And I'm just going to add color to the numbers. And I'm going to set them aside to dry. While that was drying, I play again with some ideas of where I want the clusters to go and what I want to do with this layout. And the first thing I did is I'm gonna back the picture with this paper from the Field Notes collection. And why I love the paper is because the B-side has these like peach tone to it, like distressed watercolor, and it's gonna match the tone on the background. So I did a little piece of fun foam underneath. This is just from I think it's Michael's or the dollar store. It's just very thin. I just want a little bit of a lift the picture off the layout. And you're going to see, I think one of the reasons that I went with a large picture was to balance those really large ephemera flowers that come in the Field Notes collection. And you kind of see pretty much an idea of what I have in mind. And I'm going to put the 1, the 2, and the 3 to help me tell the title, to help me tell the story. And this is kind of like a feel-good layout. It's more, I love that picture of my daughter, and it's a layout that is going to go into her album, the one that she's going to take when she leaves me. So supposedly, I know she will. My son already said that he will take his album. So I'm kind of safe on that area. So all you're going to see is I'm going to just have an idea where everything is going to sit. You're going to see lots of ephemera, a few of the stickers from the Field Notes collection just to create a small cluster. And all I'm going to do is just going to glue the picture right onto my layout. And I'm going to start building the cluster. And you're going to see that I'm going to kind of in a diagonal, kind of zigzag look for my clusters. So once I have the picture in place, I'm going to add some foam adhesive behind the flowers, behind everything that I have I just want to create a lift, give it some movement. And once I have that in place, like I went to the chipboard and I found phrases, especially that were black and white, because I don't want to bring color. I want to keep them very neutral. I want them to stand out. And I found things like, surround yourself with people that see the greatness in you, be bold. And if you know my daughter, she's super bold. So I'm just playing with some of the colors. You're going to see that I'm going to bring some yellows just to match the, the yellow center in the flower that's at the top. I'm going to bring a little bit of green because that big flower at the bottom has some green leaves. So I brought the green heart and it's great. And I'm going to bring that bird and that rose from the All the Good Things collection because I really like the tones. They're going to match with the background. Now for number 3, I did not want to bring a chipboard because it's pretty much what I'm going to say is going to be my title. So I pulled this die cut that says Be Happy from the Field Notes collection. And I'm just fussy cutting a little bit of that white edge that comes around the word. I want a lot of black to it. And I wanted to create a cluster at the background, but I don't want it to add those big flowers. I don't want it to stand out as much like the flowers. So I pulled one of the ribbons from the All the Good Things collection and just added behind it. It adds enough of the yellow and the fuchsia without having to stand out. And then I'm just going to see that I bring a little bit of green accents to the clusters just to balance the heart that I put on top. And then I'm going to bring a few stickers from Vicky's sticker album. And that's pretty much it. The only thing that did not make it to the camera was me adding a little bit of a diluted gold glaze just to create those little accents of gold that are going to match the color of the numbers. That's about it. Super simple. A great place to, a great layout to add multiple pictures or a large picture. Try it. I'm sure you're going to love it. Remember to check out Vicky's stuff. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. And thank you so much for joining.